The 12th. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, before we get with our regular agenda, we've got a special guest here today kicking off our celebration of Women's History Month, and it is my great honor to welcome one of our own icons in Columbus and Franklin County, someone who normally would not need an introduction, but I'm doing it anyway because she deserves it. I want to introduce you all to Ms. Fran Ryan, who, as a devoted resident of our community for, I'm not going to say how many years, Fran served 2 terms on the Columbus City Council, and then she paved the way for people such as myself to become the first woman county commissioner in Franklin County. And for that, I am ever grateful to you. But she didn't stop there. Ms. Ryan served under the Carter administration as a regional representative to the U.S. Department of Labor, and then came back here and has been serving our city, helping our mayor, former Mayor Coleman and now Mayor Ginther, and our entire community, working for those who are in their best years as our seniors in the community. And for that, I thank you as well. So, Fran Ryan, would you please come up and say a few words about your history as a leader in the community and what you've brought to this community? We thank you, and we want to recognize you for being who you are and the special person you are.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown and Commissioner Boyce, and all of you who I feel like I really am still a part of the county because we are such great partners.
Yeah.
And I want to explain what I mean by that. If it wasn't for Franklin County and our office, our Central Ohio Area Office on Aging, the partnership that we've had with the aging community that you're taking care of and the city, we would never be as outstanding as we are. And I say that because I thank all of you for caring about, I call them our jewels of the city and our jewels of the county. And because of you, because of you and your work and recognizing that seniors are a major part of our community and the city recognizing that, and the mayor, we are now venturing into some national programs. So I thank you for that. I know you've heard from our city programs, and I know you've heard from the county programs. And I thank you, and the people who work with you in aging have been outstanding. We've had a long friendship for many, many years, and that friendship I hope will continue. So thank you for all of who serve in your Department of Aging, because they are just outstanding. Thank you so much.
Fran, what was it like when you first got here at the county as
Lonely.
commissioner? Who
Lonely.
did you serve
But,
with?
I served with Mr. DeMoss and with Dewey. So it was always lonely, but it was more lonely when I started in city council in 1971. It was really a lonely place, but I've served under several mayors, and I continue to do that as city clerk with them too.
Right.
But I think what I'm most proud of is the fact that we've opened a lot of doors, and there's a lot of women, and when I had the opportunity to serve the party, I made sure that we had some women judgeships, and we do now. And I think that was one of my plans to make sure that we got women in government. And I think the message to the young people should be that they embrace our service, the service that they can give to the community, that they embrace public service, because so many times I think they shy away from that. And I'd like to see us open more doors for those folks who young people who want to come into the service.
Absolutely.
There's been a contention that public service isn't really the place to be. I think it's the place to be. You all make it that way, and I appreciate your efforts, and I hope that we'll continue to be our wonderful partners, and we can do more for the seniors. And I would bet today that we will be the most outstanding community nationally with taking care of our elderly. So I thank you for that. Thank you.
Wait, don't
Wait,
go.
and if I could just add too, I want to just thank you, Fran, for being such an inspiration. I've been in politics now over 25 years, and or something like that. And you're one of those people, iconic people that I put on a pedestal with people like Jerry Hammond and Ben Espy and so many, many others, because you really were a pioneer and continue to be. And so every time when you do your the event you do over at the casino every year, I'm just amazed at the level of organization, the level of energy that's there, and the level of participants. I mean, you're really an amazing person, and we're lucky to have you here in Central Ohio.
Well, I'm lucky to have turned 85, and hopefully I've got some more years of service. And my partner Dick passed away. It'll be 2 years this June, and we were a partner in all of this. And so I encourage people to have that partnership with their partner, because if you both enjoy it, the walking's really good. Thank you.
Stay there. We want to
Okay.
get a picture with you, and I know at least one of your sons.
Yes,
is
I was going to say
here.
yes.
Rick, why don't you
Yeah,
come on up?
Rick is my driver today.
Nice.
I love you guys. Oh, I love
And we'll get you in the picture
you, love you, love you, love you, love you.
too. We'll go in the middle here. And we have this resolution to give to you from us. We're so thrilled you're here.
Thanks, everybody. Hold on. All right, hang on. We've got a couple of really good. One more. Thank you.
With every wrinkle comes another challenge.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the minutes of February 12 and February 19 general session, and the minutes of January 10th, 2019 briefing.
So move.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved.
Okay. Domestic relations.
Resolution number 142-19, resolution authorizing a contract with Capital University Law School for $40,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director. This resolution is requesting a contract with Capital University to provide training for community volunteers for restorative justice circles, which is a diversion program for misdemeanor offenders. In 2018, 61 youth were referred and 85% were successfully completed the program. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 142-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 142-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 143-19, resolution authorizing a First Amendment to the 2019 grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Youth Services in the amount of $81,926.20.
With me this morning is Whitney Randolph, our Chief Probation Officer. This resolution is requesting several changes to our 2019 grant agreement in the amount of $81,926.20. These changes include adding 4 new service providers to our day treatment, our substance abuse, and our juvenile detention programs. Also, we need to realign and to add some budget line items for our truancy and our grant administrative programs. And last, we need to increase the probation budget for workers' compensation and term sick leave, along with realigning some funds within the fringe benefit account. And Whitney is here to talk about some of the new service providers that we're adding.
Great.
All right, good morning, thank you very much. Two of the programs that we're adding will be the Village Network PSB Day Treatment, which is juvenile sex offender treatment in their facility in the Village Network. It will allow us to address those needs that we can't address in the community. For the Ohio Guidestone AOD program, this would be a program that was be in place for those juvenile offenders who struggle with AOD or substance abuse. We recently had a contract that departed with us. They no longer provide that service, so now we're attempting to find a replacement for it.
Right.
Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 143-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 143-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 144-19, resolution authorizing appropriation adjustments related to various carryover expenditures.
This resolution is requesting the appropriation adjustments totaling $71,725 for invoices that were not submitted to the court until 2019. However, the invoices should have been submitted and paid in 2018. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no questions, move for passage of 144-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 144-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
The county drainage engineer. And I know we've got a public hearing. If the clerk could please read that public hearing, that would be great.
Public hearing, resolution regarding plans approved for the improvement of La Plaza Tapatia storm sewer at 241 through 278 Georgesville Road, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Drainage Engineer. And to Commissioner Ryan's point, I would like to say that I thoroughly enjoy public service. I enjoy working with you folks, and it's an honor. With me today,
Carla Marable.
Thank you, Cornell.
so basically this project is a drainage improvement project in the southwest part of the county. It's along the west side of Georgesville Road, south of Broad Street. It's a collaborative effort including multiple agencies, Franklin County Commissioners, Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department, the Drainage Engineer's Office, and a private developer.
That's a good project. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone here in the audience who wishes to speak on this resolution? Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing, and we have resolution 145-9.
Resolution number 145-19, plans approved for the improvement of La Plaza Tapatia storm sewer at 241 through 287 Georgesville Road, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
So Commissioners, the only thing to add would be that this resolution is for the plan signing and approval, which will allow us to schedule the project for construction in the bid opening.
Great.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 145-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 145-19 has been adopted.
Okay, Board of Commissioner resolution.
Resolution number 146-19, resolution creating a transportation improvement district within Franklin County and constituting and appointing the Transportation Improvement District Board of Trustees, Franklin County, Ohio.
So Commissioners, this is a resolution for Transportation Improvement District for Franklin County, oftentimes referred to as a TID or sometimes referred to as a TID. I have a presentation that I'd like to go through if you'd like. However, you may want to consider having anyone speak for or against. Certainly your call, whichever order you'd like to go through.
I know when we briefed this, we had talked about the public hearing a brief presentation so that they could better understand it. I think it makes sense, and then have the public speakers give a few words.
Okay.
And I've got the speaker slips right here. However you think it makes the most sense, which you want to do first is your choice, Cornell.
Yeah, I'm certainly fine with going through the presentation briefly first if you like, and then we can go from there. To start off with, I have a story to tell, a story of 4 chapters. Chapter 1, the importance of good roadway and bridge infrastructure. Chapter 2, a funding pothole has formed. Chapter 3, there is a tool to help us fill said funding pothole. And Chapter 4, specific projects that we can utilize with this new tool.
Well, maybe there's a presentation or maybe not.
I need another tool. So it advances here, but not.
What I usually do is just bang on the computer and it works.
Technology's wonderful when it works.
Is this version anything different? Is it the same? To the right.
It's okay. I know we've got some speakers here that have time constraints, so, you know, whatever makes the most sense.
Move forward with the story? All right, here we go. The importance of good roadway infrastructure, critical for safe and efficient travel. It promotes good economic development, drives the economic engine, in fact. Important for public health, safety, and welfare. We need to be able to get ourselves to the doctor. First responders need to be able to report to scenes of emergency. Franklin County is the most populous county in the whole state, and more folks are moving in. By 2050, we expect another 1 million people in our region, and that will add to wear and tear on our roads and bridges. We often hear about connected and autonomous vehicles, and I think that's technology that we definitely need to embrace. Will make our roadways more efficient and safer. However, I think it will also add to vehicle miles traveled and increase wear and tear. And then I'd like to touch on maintenance versus replacement. Always better to maintain as we go than to wait for failure, and much more expensive at that point. Similar to maintaining our own vehicles, better to change the oil regularly than to wait for the engine to seize up. Pay now or pay more later. Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, so on. In particular, with the Franklin County Engineers Office, we have 800 lane miles in our jurisdiction and 357 bridges. Of those 357 bridges, 48 are over 100 years old. 108 are over 75 years old. 13 bridges are rated poor, and 35 are rated fair. User fees. These are the main streams of revenue to help us maintain roads and bridges. The federal gas tax is 18.4 cents per gallon, last increased 26 years ago. Ohio gas tax is 28 cents a gallon, was last approved for an increase in 2003, 16 years ago. Since 2013, 18 states have increased the gas user fee. 19 states have electrical vehicle fees, and 8 states have hybrid vehicle fees, but not Ohio. The tool that exists to help us fill the funding pothole, Transportation Improvement District. Some advantages: it will utilize multi-jurisdictional transportation projects and will advance economic opportunities. We can leverage state and federal grants as well as local revenue. We can compete for $4.5 million in ODOT Jobs and Commerce funding specific to TIDs at $250,000 per project per year. And to Commissioner Ryan's point, it is what I like to refer to as the Franklin County Way. Some folks refer to it as the Columbus Way, but it utilizes the public-private partnerships, innovation, and collaboration. We can also advance long-term, larger projects utilizing infrastructure bank and SIB loans, and even bonding of pledged revenue once we get a little fancier. If we're able to move forward, that would come at a later date. The powers of transportation improvement districts mentions the intergovernmental agreements. We can also accept private sector donations for projects. It can serve as a bank for the smaller communities who would like to do a project later on once their money compiles. We can also acquire right-of-way through an eminent domain process. We can actually overbuy property, excess right-of-way, and sell it later at a profit when it becomes beneficial. And it's basically government at the speed of business, very efficient, and we can move quite quickly. This is not a new concept. I believe TIDs were established in 2011, and so far in Ohio there are 40 other counties who have transportation improvement districts set up. The process to create a TID falls on the shoulders of the county commissioners, is established in one resolution, also includes the appointment of 5 voting board members. Public hearings are not required. However, to provide additional transparency, we held one at the county engineer's office on February 27th. TID creation does not obligate any agency in particular for finances. However, if an agency does want to participate and take on a project with the TID, then they would be expected to contribute financially. And the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate would also appoint non-voting members, one apiece. Typical services. There's an administrative component to a TID and project management. We propose that MORPC would take on the administrative component of the TID, would provide a third-party perspective and the administration of meetings and meeting minutes, and legal counsel, so forth. The Franklin County Engineers' involvement, I would propose a project that I think would be appropriate for TID, bring that to the commissioners and see if you all would be in agreement, and if so, then we would establish an agreement between the commissioners and the TID to allow the process to move forward. So that allows you to stay involved with projects as they arise for Franklin County. The Franklin County Engineers Office can provide in-kind services. We have the staff and capabilities to do the things that you're accustomed to hearing our resolutions pertaining to design, management, right-of-way acquisition, environmental clearances, design, construction, and management. Financially, I would propose that the Franklin County Engineers Road and Bridge Fund contribute $500,000 per year. And that would also be willing and would propose that we contribute additional finances on a project-by-project and case-by-case basis. Specific projects that we could take on potentially with the Transportation Improvement District. I'd like to start with our 10-year capital improvement program This slide shows 53 projects that we'd like to take on over the next 10 years. But to zero in on ones that I think would maybe be appropriate for the TID, here are a few that I feel we could tackle right out of the gate. You'll notice that many are in the Rickenbacker area, a very important area of our county, but there are others in other parts of the county, some in the Linden area. The Ferris and Cook Road would be in the close to Linden. Also a bridge at Harrisburg, Georgesville Road over Big Darby Creek. That's one of the bridges rated in poor condition. And then looking further into the future, some larger projects that we could take on with the Transportation Improvement District. And these also involve many different agencies, county, ODOT, various municipalities. The timeline. We had the public involvement meeting on February 27th. Again, we wanted to provide opportunities for transparency, opportunity for folks to come in and learn about this in particular, speak for or speak against. And it was very lightly attended, though we advertised in the normal fashion. We had some staff members from my office, from Morpsey, and one gentleman from the public showed up. And he was in favor of the measure. We had the public briefing with the commissioners on March 7th, last week. We have today's general session. Looking into the future, I would propose that we have a meeting on March 21st if we're able to move forward, where the organizational meeting would take place with the establishment of chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, so forth. Then a meeting in April to select projects that we would like to pursue further. And then in the month of May, that's the time period when we would apply for the $250,000 per project. I think it may be best if we save this slide for a time after the present, or after folks speak for or against. That would be all right.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions so far?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Mhm.
Thank you. I just wanted clarification. So the $500,000 is coming from where?
That would be from the county engineer's road and bridge fund.
Mhm.
That would be from sources such as license plate registration renewal fees, gas tax,
And so,
not general fund.
right, I got you. And so my follow-up question to that is there any implication on other projects and other places? I mean, what is the impact of dedicating money from that fund? Any at all?
I feel like there would not be if we're able to move forward. I feel like the projects that we would take on as Franklin County, these would be projects that we would take on whether the TID exists or not.
Right, got you. And then finally, you had mentioned in one of your slides the $4.5 million that we were competing for.
Yes.
So that $4.5 million is a statewide fund?
Statewide fund.
And so it's of the 4.5, and you're projecting $250,000 or so?
My understanding is the amount that can be allotted to a particular project from that 4.5 million is $250,000 per project per year. So,
Per project per year, so it could be more.
yes, we could, and I think other TIDs have applied for that same funding in multiple years and have been awarded accordingly. And I believe this is, they look at how well the TID is managed and how well it runs, track record, that type of thing.
Sure. So I just want to be clear, because the one thing I'd want to talk more about, but it seems like it's okay, is moving funds from one sort of project area to the next. But what you're telling me, just for clarification, is that there is no impact. That the money will be moved from the Bridges and Roadways Fund, but there are projects that would have already, there's the same projects essentially.
Yes, sir.
And so there's no negative impact from there's no robbing Peter to pay Paul type of scenario.
I do not feel like that's the case at all.
Good.
And there's still involvement, interaction between the engineer's office and the Board of Commissioners. I would bring these ideas to you. And if you were agreeable, then we would set up that official agreement between the commissioners and the TID. So that doesn't circumvent any of a process that we're accustomed to working with.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Cornell, isn't it the case that forming a transportation improvement district allows for the board of this entity to leverage funds that we couldn't leverage in our current form?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
And I think there are some economic type grants that we just are not accustomed to working with so closely, but this would provide a path, an opportunity to make that more seamless and create those partnerships that otherwise we may not be able to use. And so in a way it magnifies it. It amplifies our ability to take on even more.
So it's a tool that we can use when it's appropriate, but we don't always need to use it if
Correct.
the traditional route of doing a project makes more sense.
Yes, ma'am. I see it as very strategic,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to be used when appropriate, but not for every project.
Okay. Well, we do have some speakers, and I'd like to call up Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. Sheriff, as you know, we have 3 minutes for each speaker, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, President Brown. Good to see you. Commissioner Boyce.
You.
Commissioner Ryan. Always good to see you. Other distinguished members. As sheriff, you've heard me say a dozen times, public safety is my #1 priority. And I think the Transportation Improvement District only speaks to public safety. Having safe roadways, safe bridges for the motoring public only enhances our safety. You know, we need it as first responders, but all of you need it to go to work and just travel back and forth. When you have uneven pavement, the potholes that were mentioned, causes damage, causes accidents, causes injuries. So I highly support this program to target areas and improve the roadways. One aspect that we see in the sheriff's office quite often are road rage incidents. And those occur a lot of times because you'll have somebody who, they get into an area where the pavement is poor, they can't get through the traffic, it bogs down, tempers flare, and then we get called on it. I've heard 2 calls this morning on the way into work. So having this to me only makes sense. It's just a good business for the county. It protects lives, it protects properties. So on behalf of the sheriff's office, we are highly in favor of this program.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here. You have any questions? Okay. Thank you. Joanna Pinkerton from our Central Ohio Transit Authority. Come on up. Thank you for being here.
Of course, and good morning. Thank
Good
you,
morning.
President Brown and Commissioner Boyce. And also congratulations, Commissioner Ryan. Very inspiring to be here today of all days. I am here, as most of you know, I am the President and CEO of Central Ohio Transit Authority. So you might be wondering why my testimony is here in support of the Franklin County Engineers. But I want to remind you of my background. I know people tend to coin me as the Chief Mobility Officer of the region right now, but my background has been heavily invested in infrastructure, automotive, and now transit, and it's a system that moves people. And maybe unbeknownst to you, while I was at the Ohio Department of Transportation, I actually oversaw the Transportation Improvement District program. And the TID program has been around for a couple decades, actually, not 2011.
Okay.
Originally started with 5 in counties where they had major infrastructure projects that needed addressed. Legislation in 2011 then made automatic allocations to those 5 counties. And in 2013, I worked with the State House to repeal that legislation. Instead of automatic disbursements to 5 counties, I felt like the funds should be allocated to incentivize counties who were looking to put partnerships together and move projects forward instead of just receiving an automatic disbursement. Since then, the 5 has expanded to 40. And what that tells you is that 35 other counties have seen this as a tool, as Cornell has described, to bring other partners together. You are eligible not only for the pot of funds at ODOT, but that's just a beginning. You know, that's $250,000 a year per project. But what it really brings to the table is the ability to have other funds leveraged, such as private partnerships, as Cornell referred to. And it really does what we, I think, already do in this community, but it codifies into existence intergovernmental cooperation. So townships, cities, counties, other counties. You probably noticed a few of the projects extend just slightly beyond the Franklin County border.
Right.
But just because someone maybe moves from one side of a county to the other, it doesn't mean that, you know, an automatic transaction happened at that line. You know, it's all connected. So I just really applaud Cornell for taking this step. I support the sheriff's comments as well about we just have to take care of what we have. But I'd like to point out, I'm sure Cornell provided the documentation in your packet. If you look at the criterion that are set forth for TIDs now, it really does look at economic impact, the safety, health, and well-being of citizens. And he used an analogy about it's better to change our oil and take care of things now. I'd really like to see the county leap to the next level. We won't be running internal combustion engines with oil much longer. And really the TID in my mind is that pulling together all the electric motors so that you have a centralized system. That's that dashboard telling you how your transportation's running. So just really support this initiative.
I appreciate you being here because you're right. In managing mobility and managing a system, what you say is really important to the conversation. So thank you for being here as well.
Certainly.
And I had to step out, so can you repeat your testimony again?
You can watch it on TV.
I'm kidding.
You can really watch it on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Thea Walsh from Morpsey is here, and thank you for being here because you play an important staff role if this goes forward, which we need to hear about. So, thank you.
Thank you, commissioners, and thank you, county engineer, and also a pleasure to be with you today, Commissioner Ryan, as you were our former chair of the age-friendly efforts we did at Morpsey to get things kicked off here in
It's a
Central
small
Ohio.
world, and all worlds lead to Morpsey.
That's right. That is right. So I'm Thea Walsh, the Transportation and Infrastructure Development Director at Morpsey. I'm excited to be here this morning to show our support for the Franklin County Transportation Improvement District. As Engineer Robertson mentioned, there are about 40 of them around the state, but around Central Ohio and in our region, Madison, Delaware, Licking, and Fairfield also have transportation improvement districts, and we work with them as well. As you know, ODOT does promote this as a tool to advance the projects and even setting aside funds, and we're really anxious to help the county engineer and the TID board go after those funding for projects should you move forward. Probably some of the most important information I have to share with you today is that you know that we also manage transportation funding here in Central Ohio. And during our recent round of federal funding, we had, which we refer to as attributable funds, we had over $205 million in requests for about $22 million. So we're really strapped to be able to fund all the projects. We turned away about $183 million in projects that are out there looking for resources or trying to build up match for their project. And even the State Infrastructure Bank for the types of projects that we do, the non-federal resource section is squeezed, and there's only about $20 million available at the state level for our projects in the State Infrastructure Bank. And to be honest, Central Ohio could actually come through and take 2 times that in the next few years just due to the need and projects that we have. So in addition to that, we have a growing region it's not just about maintaining the infrastructure, although that's very important. Being able to keep up with the growth of people, jobs, and households is going to be very important to us. We see the Transportation Improvement District as that tool in the toolbox, as Engineer Robertson had mentioned. It's going to help us pursue short-term, long-term projects. It can help us in every mode: highway, transit, bike trails, any place that collaboration is the key of the project. And we have so many of those in the region. And so this is a great place for smaller communities even to help save their dollars towards the project they want to get accomplished. And so that's a great use of it as well, to aggregate multiple jurisdictions. It's also very important when we're applying for things like federal discretionary funds or state major new funding that we show that we are collaborative in our efforts, and an organized way that we can do that through a TID, it makes us look better and more attractive in the selection process. If we have to organize that around each application, that is much harder to lift, and a lot of times with the short time frames we have for the federal applications, you just can't get it done in enough time. So this would allow us that mechanism to make us more competitive on that national level for things like build and infra, so that we're more competitive in the future. We honestly are just looking forward to the opportunity to work with the County Commission, the County Engineer's Office, and County Economic Development and other players in the Transportation Improvement District, should you choose to stand up the Transportation Improvement District here in Franklin County and help you advance the projects associated. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the clarification of the role that MORPSI has. Always appreciated the leadership of MORPSI in these issues of all that you do.
Thanks. You were a part of what made it great. Makes it great. So, thanks.
Many of us.
Yeah. Any
Do
questions?
you have any questions?
Nope. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so at this point, maybe we talk about potential board members, and I have a slide here that matches fairly close to the paperwork that you all have. The 5 voting members appointed by the commissioners. We have the County Commissioner Board President or designee. County Engineer, myself, happy to participate. Number 3, Alex Barris from Economic Development and Planning Department. Seat 4, Rob Priestus with City of Gahanna. And the 5th seat, this is slightly different than what is in your packet, and based on conversations that I had with Kenny McDonald of Columbus 2020, at this point I'm recommending this seat as Economic Development Professional, appointed by the Board of Commissioners. And if I could, I would like to request what I understand is the term of a friendly amendment. And I have this that I can share with you. If you would, please pass this down, take one and pass it along. So the first version is kind of a marked up version, and the second version is a cleaner look, to help you see the differences in and I believe this is page 3 of the resolution. And again, these are just recommendations, sort of a starting point from my perspective, and certainly the commissioners to decide if you would like to move forward.
Okay. Thank you. So first, we'd need to act on the amendment. Is that correct?
That's correct. Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. What it would take is a motion to amend the resolution to replace the unnamed designee from Columbus 2020 with an economic development professional who resides in Franklin County. So it meets the original intent
Right.
of this resolution as it was presented in briefing.
Okay.
I have a question. So I just want to make sure I understand. So the language, I want to make sure I understand this. The Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate appoint which of these members?
Those would be up above and beyond the 5 voting members, and those 2 members from the General Assembly would not be voting members.
Okay. So they're probably members of the General Assembly.
And that would follow at a later date, does not have to be known or be determined today.
And those members don't have to be from Franklin County? That the General Assembly would appoint?
I don't know offhand. It seems like they would be from Franklin County, but
This
I can't.
Kenneth Wilson County Administrator, the statute does not specify. It leaves it to the general leadership of the General Assembly to make those 2 appointments pursuant to the TIF statute.
But they're non-voting members.
They're non-voting, they're ex officios.
In the other counties, do they participate? Do we know?
I personally don't know offhand, but maybe some folks who, I see some heads nodding
They
from Joanna.
participate? Joanna?
President Brown and Commissioner Boyce, they do, in an ex officio capacity,
Uh-huh.
or voting capacity, usually are appointed as a resident within a county. Certainly government affairs tends to work with the state house to ensure that it's acceptable, but they usually bring a business perspective to weigh in on the matters that, as engineers tend to do, we get very focused on projects. So usually they appoint a business representative.
Great, thank you.
And so, but typically, and thank you for that clarification, but typically then, it's the county government affairs that would make the recommendation to the legislature?
Yes, President Brown, Commissioner Boyce, absolutely, I would recommend you be heavily engaged with providing recommendations. And I've not known in my time at ODOT, my 5 years there, of a time when the legislature did not accept the recommendation.
Okay, good.
Good.
All right, so I move to amend as submitted to the clerk.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 146-19 has been amended.
Okay.
And then if there are no comments or questions, further comments or questions, move for passage of Resolution 146-19.
Amended resolution.
Amended.
Oh, amended Resolution 146-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Amended resolution number 146-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, and thank you to all of your team at the county engineer's office for the diligence and work that you put toward getting this together. It's another tool in what we need to do to get the infrastructure done that we need. And thank you to the speakers today on this resolution.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
And you have further resolutions.
Yes.
So, okay. The county engineer resolutions.
Resolution number 147-19, establishing alternate and widening of Alum Creek Drive at Roy Road, Hamilton Township, and Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this is a capital improvement project in the southeast part of the county. It's a cooperative effort including Franklin County, City of Columbus, Groveport, and a developer. In fact, it could be a project that the TID could participate in, and was even on one of the slides. This resolution is the first in a series of 2 to declare the project necessary, and will allow us to move forward with the project.
If there are no comments or questions, or are you done? I'm sorry.
That's it.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 147-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 147-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 148-19, HNTB Ohio Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County engineer with engineering services for the Alum Creek Drive corridor between Rickenbacker Airport and I-270, Hamilton Township and Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $46,819.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the same area, southeast part of the county. Again, Alum Creek Drive from Rickenbacker north to 270, a very important corridor. This particular resolution is for a design contract with HNTB. We utilize the qualification-based selection process and would recommend your approval.
Okay, if there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 148-19.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 148-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 149-19, establishing alternate widening of Reynoldsburg New Albany Road at Havens Road, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this project is in the northeast part of the county in Jefferson Township. This also is the first resolution in a series of 2 to declare the project necessary.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 149-19.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 149-19 has been adopted.
Okay, we've got another public hearing. Can you please read the public hearing into the record?
Public hearing, resolution regarding the establishment, alternating, and widening of Crop Road drainage outlet, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineered to file plans as necessary.
Okay, I'd like to open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this public hearing? Seeing no one, we close the public hearing and need the resolution read into the record.
Resolution number 150-19, establishing alternate and widening of the Crop Road drainage outlet, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, viewed, engineered to file plans as necessary.
Commissioners, as stated, this is a drainage improvement project in the southwest part of the county, and this resolution would be the second in the series of 2 to allow us to move forward with the project, have it designed, and then later have it ready for construction.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 150-19.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 150-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 151-19, resolution approving plans for the Wilson Road pedestrian safety improvement and .63 bridge deck replacement, the City of Columbus, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks approval of the construction plans for the Wilson Road Pedestrian Safety Improvement Project, 6.63 Bridge Deck Replacement Project. This is a City of Columbus project located in the southwest portion of Franklin County and Franklin Township. As part of a larger City of Columbus project, they will rehabilitate our bridge by replacing and widening the bridge deck to accommodate a shared use path. Approval of this resolution will allow the city to move forward with the construction phase of the project.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 151-19.
Second.
Moved in second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 151-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 152-19, resolution authorizing a contract with Affiliated Resource Group Consulting to provide expert knowledge and services to support multiple information system initiatives in an amount of $60,555.
Commissioners, this next resolution is a professional services contract with Affiliated for our IT services. They provide technical assistance with our network infrastructure and our security system. We've worked with this vendor in the past and recommend approval with no further questions.
If there are no further questions or comments, move for adoption of 152-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 152-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 153-19, final encumbrance of county motor vehicle license fee $5 funds to the City of Canal Winchester in the amount of $200,000.
Commissioners, back in April of 2018, the board approved a resolution for preliminary allocation of county motor vehicle license fees to improve Groveport Road at Gender Road. The City of Canal Winchester has submitted detailed plans for the improvement of this section of roadway. The county engineer has reviewed these plans and determined that they meet the allowable use of the funds and the allowable roadways.
Okay, if there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 153-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 153-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 154-19. Report third of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Reynoldsburg New Albany Road at Welding Development Improvement, Franklin County, Ohio, in an amount of $18,551.
This resolution seeks compensation for property owners abutting the Reynoldsburg New Albany at Weldon Development Improvement Project. The project is located in the northeast part of the county in Jefferson Township. We'll add a northbound left turn lane, and two-way left turn lane in the vicinity of Wooleye Creek Drive, which accesses the new development. We have negotiated with the property owners, and compensation was based on fair market appraised value.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption 154-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 154-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 155-19. Report third of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Havens Corners Road, County Road 16, and Morrison Farms East Drive Improvement, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $31,000.
Commissioners, this next resolution seeks compensation for property owners abutting the Havens Corner Road and Morrison Farms East Drive Improvement Project. The project is located again in the northeast part of the county in Jefferson Township and will widen a portion of Havens Corners Road. We have also negotiated with these property owners, and the compensation was again based on fair market appraised value.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption 155-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 155-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 156-19. Report fourth, establishing sums of compensation and damages for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Havens Corner Road, County Road 16, and Morrison Farms East Drive Improvement, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $1,674.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks authorization to initiate the appropriation process for a portion of the property owners abutting the Havens Corners Road and Morrison Farms East Drive Improvement Project. We have negotiated with one of the property owners. However, we have been unable to reach an agreement. Passage of this resolution will allow us to continue to negotiate with that property owner while continuing the construction schedule.
Okay, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 156-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 156-19 has been adopted.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lots going on.
Good action.
The Sheriff's Office.
Resolution number 157-19. Resolution authorizing an agreement with the Ohio Attorney General, Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy for use of their driving track and classroom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. This resolution authorizes an agreement with the Ohio Attorney General to utilize the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy driving track in April and May. The track will be used to conduct the driver training portion of the current Peace Officer Basic Training Academy being conducted for 15 Sheriff's Office deputies. Any questions? I ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption 157-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 157-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 158-19. Resolution supporting the Sheriff's Office to continue as lead agency in the countywide DUI task force and the approval of contracts with 22 member agencies participating in the countywide DUI task force in the amount of $224,358.04.
Commissioners, this resolution supports the Sheriff's Office to continue as the lead agency for the countywide DUI task force in order to help reduce alcohol-related traffic accidents through sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols. Duties will include administration, implementation, and oversight of the $224,358.04 grant offered by the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Ohio Traffic Safety Office. Second portion of the resolution approves contracts required by the state for other law enforcement agencies within Franklin County that will be participating on the DUI task force. There are 22 contracts that will be approved with the passage of this resolution. This will be the 13th year of the Sheriff's Office filling the role as grant administrator. And with no questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 159-19.
Second.
158.
I'm sorry, 158-19.
Mhm. Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 158-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 159-19, resolution authorizing a maintenance agreement with Metals Treatment Technologies, LLC for bullet trap cleaning and lead abatement at the Sheriff's Office firing range in the amount of $24,620.
Commissioners, this contract will authorize MT2 to clean the Sheriff's Office bullet traps of expensive rounds of ammunition and to properly dispose of the waste. To address your question from briefing, the lead and brass will be containerized and loaded onto a licensed transport vehicle and subsequently delivered to an MT2 vetted recycling facility. With no questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Thank you for finding out what happens to the lead especially.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 159-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 159-19 has been adopted.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Dave. Treasurer's Office.
Resolution number 160-19, resolution authorizing a contract with ProTeam Solutions to provide deliverable-based services to the Franklin County Treasurer System in the amount of $253,200.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Mary McGovern. I'm the Budget and Purchasing Coordinator with the Franklin County Treasurer's Office. This is Jim Holmes. He's our Chief Compliance Officer. This resolution will improve the functionality of the current Franklin County Treasurer System and work towards stability and determine if replacement is necessary of that system.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 160-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 160-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. The data center.
Step out real quick.
Resolution number 161-19, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations for the data center to offset the purchase of capital hardware.
Good morning, Commissioner. Julie Less with the Franklin County Data Center. This resolution is for supplemental funding as well as a transfer of existing baseline funds to facilitate the procurement and implementation of an upgrade to the countywide data backup and recovery system. This system is vital for disaster recovery, business continuity, corruption incidents, and also defense against ransomware attacks because it allows us to take a document or a database and restore it to a point in time. For example, 2 days, what the state it was 2 days before or a year before. This upgrade does include all costs associated with the operation of the solution over the next 3 years. Pending any questions, the data center does request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 161-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 161-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 162-19, resolution approving a contract for case management services between the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services with the City of Columbus, Department of Recreation and Parks, Central Ohio Area Agency on Aging in the amount of $40,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Job and Family Services. This resolution will approve a case manager to be stationed 20 hours a week at the CLAAA main office located at 3776 South High Street to provide assistance in determining eligibility primarily for Medicaid, but also for our other supported services such as SNAP benefits. The contractual relationship between our agencies began back in October of 2014. Under this agreement, CLAAA will reimburse us for the actual full-time employee costs of an on-site case manager, including salary and benefits, on a quarterly basis, not to exceed a total of $40,000. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Have anything else you'd like to say? Until we can vote on it.
Let's see. So we did an analysis back last year of how many cases are being touched. And through this relationship of the 20 hours a week, the case manager is touching about 600 cases a month with this targeted population. Again, this is up to 20 hours a week located at CLAAA between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m. And again, is to complete initial eligibility services for benefits and programs, to assist with the redetermination of existing CLAAA customers, troubleshoot initial determination services. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
Thank you.
That was good. Thank
That
you.
was good.
A little bit of an issue going here.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. I apologize. If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 162-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 162-19 has been adopted.
Economic Development and Planning.
Director, I just want to say you're so good. You're so good. You're so sharp. Yeah, you are.
Resolution number 163-19, review a petition to annex 2.889 acres from Jefferson Township to the City of Gehanna, case number ANX 0219.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 2.889 acres from Jefferson Township to the City of Gehanna. The area to be annexed includes property located at 4242 East Johnstown Road. That is east of East Johnstown, south of Beecher, north of Klotz, and west of Venetian Way. Petition was filed by Agent Mara Zeminski on behalf of the property owner, AKA Group LLC. 57.5% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Gehanna, and the city passed resolution number 0003-2019 on February 18, 2019, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved, and a statement regarding incompatible land uses in a zoning buffer. Petition meets all statutory requirements of Section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 163-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 163-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 164-19, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Precision Industrial Services to perform flooring activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Corrections Center in the amount of $1,423,680.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director, Public Facilities Management. Also joining me today is Dr. Bill Lafayette, owner of Regionomics LLC, who will provide a summary of the economic impact studies he conducted for today's resolutions. This resolution awards a contract to Precision Industrial Services, Inc. to perform flooring activities associated with construction of the new corrections center. 2 bids were received, and Precision was the low bidder. Precision is headquartered in Toledo, Ohio, but will utilize a local labor force. 20 jobs are anticipated to be created as part of this contract at peak. Precision is signatory to Carpenters Local 200 in Columbus. Precision Industrial Services is a certified minority business enterprise, an MBE, an EDGE certified business enterprise, a disadvantaged business enterprise, DBE, and a small and emerging business enterprise, an SEBE. Therefore, there is 100% diversity participation for this contract. Precision has demonstrated it has the capacity, experience, and ability to complete the required work. The project owner's representative, Pizzuti Solutions, and the project construction manager, Gilbane Smoot, are supportive of this contract award. Next, I will turn it over to Dr. Lafayette to present his summary of the economic impacts. Then, pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this contract agreement.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
morning.
I've provided you with a memo that shows the economic impact of this flooring bid by Precision Industrial Services. The total impact is $1 million in Franklin County output. That includes the impacts from projected spending with local suppliers and the spending of wages earned by worker households from this project. Total direct and indirect household earnings impacts total $256,000. An average of approximately 6 full-time and part-time jobs will be sustained, and there will be $597,000 in long-term value added to the county's economy. That represents the net increase in Franklin County GDP. Again, all construction impacts are temporary, lasting only as long as the direct spending lasts. And as Darla mentioned, Precision is itself a small and emerging business, so this entire impact can be credited to the ongoing impact of SEEBS to the project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 164-19.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 164-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 165-19, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Precision Industrial Services to perform epoxy flooring activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center in the amount of $2,261,248.59.
This resolution also awards a contract to Precision Industrial Services, Inc. to perform epoxy flooring activities associated with construction of the new correction center. 3 bids were received, and Precision was the low bidder. 15 jobs are anticipated to be created as part of this contract at peak from the Carpenters Local 200 in Columbus. We are pleased that this contract also includes 100% diversity participation. Next, I will turn it over to Dr. Lafayette to again present his summary of the economic impacts. Then, pending any questions, this agency recommends the award of the contract to perform epoxy flooring activities to Precision Industrial Services, Inc.
The impacts of the Precision epoxy flooring contract are $2 million in output, $498,000 in household earnings, 11 full-time and part-time jobs sustained on average, and $1.2 million in value added. The impacts of these 2 contracts together total $3 million in output, $755,000 in earnings, 16 jobs sustained, and $1.8 million in value added. As a result, the impacts of all contracts to date total $249.8 million, just under $250 million, $62 million in earnings, 1,210 jobs sustained, and $145.6 million in long-term value added. Around 23% of that total comes from and through SEEBS.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage of 165-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 165-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 166-19, resolution authorizing a modification to the contract agreement with Williamson Builders Incorporated to perform additional metal building systems activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center, and an increase in an amount of the contract not to exceed $76,820 for a revised total amount of $878,967.
Williamson Builders, Inc. was awarded a contract on September 11, 2018 to perform metal building systems activities for the new correction center. This resolution authorizes a modification to the contract to provide concrete work associated with the generator building and additional winter protection. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this action.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 166-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 166-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 167-19, resolution authorizing a professional services contract with Mighty Crow Media LLC for consulting services related to implementation of the FY 2018 SAMHSA medication assistant treatment, prescription drug, and opioid addictions program in the amount of $36,400.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Pearson on behalf of the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. As you're aware, Franklin County is the recipient of a $1.2 million SAMHSA award intended to expand medication-assisted treatment for justice-involved individuals identified with an opioid use disorder. SAMHSA does require its recipients to enter into a professional services contract with an external evaluator for the provision of technical assistance and evaluation services. Mighty Crow Media, led by its principal, Gretchen Clark Hammond, has been involved in the planning and response to the opioid epidemic since the beginning. For this reason, we are requesting your approval of a professional services contract with her for the provision of evaluation and technical assistance throughout the duration of the SAMHSA grant.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 167-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 167-19 has been adopted.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you. Community Partnerships.
Resolution number 168-19, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with the Central Ohio Diabetes Association to provide education, support, and summer camp opportunities to Franklin County children who have a diabetes diagnosis in the amount of $75,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Community Partnerships. This resolution makes possible the opportunity for many children in Franklin County to attend Camp Hamway, a camp of the Diabetes Association, where children with type 1 and type 2 diabetes have the opportunity to play and just be a kid alongside of other children who have those same conditions. Through our support, we are able to assure that Franklin County children have transportation directly from CODA's offices here in Columbus to Camp Hamway. Children who are attending camp have access to all of their insulin supplies, their insulin, their glucometer, everything that they need. So parents have no additional burden. All they have to do is pack their children's clothing, and they can be assured that their children will be safe and well cared for the time that they are attending camp. So pending any questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 168-19.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce? Yes. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 168-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 169-19, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Children's Hunger Alliance to provide after-school meals and snacks to low-income children in Franklin County in the amount of $125,000.
This resolution will support Children's Hunger Alliance in their efforts to continue to feed the hungry minds and bodies of Franklin County children. So the children who are attending after-school programs, many of them, through our support, have had perhaps school breakfast, they've had school lunch, and this proposal, this support will allow them to receive dinner at the after-school program and a snack, depending on how long they are there. And for many children, we know that this is the last meal that they will receive until they turn back around and come to school for breakfast in the morning. And we know how important healthful, nutritious food is for enabling children to achieve academic success. So Children's Hunger Alliance really does the heavy lift of the administrative work. Many of the programs that are doing wonderful programming for children don't have the wherewithal to complete the cumbersome paperwork and compliance that's required through this federal program, the Child and Adult Care Food Program. So Children's Hunger Alliance steps in and says, we will be the sponsor, we'll do our part, you stay in your lane and provide nutritious meals and snacks, nutrition education, and opportunities for physical activity for low-income children throughout Franklin County. So pending any questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 169-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 169-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 170-19. Resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Mid-Ohio Food Bank to provide healthful foods to low-income Franklin County residents in the amount of $100,000.
The Mid-Ohio Food Bank is able to leverage this investment and achieve their purchasing power, and the reach that they have in the community is really phenomenal. With the $100,000 investment that the Board of Commissioners is making, they will be able to reach and serve more than 300,000 unduplicated Franklin County residents with household incomes at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. In addition, they will be able to distribute 34 million pounds of food to Franklin County residents, with 24 million of those pounds being fresh produce and dairy, which is really incredible because those items, as you know, are expensive to purchase, and that takes that financial burden off of families. When they come to the food pantry, they can have access to fresh fruits and vegetables, which those of us who can just pop into Kroger sometimes can take for granted that those items are expensive and often beyond the reach of our friends and neighbors. So pending any questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
No question, but we do have a speaker who would like to speak on this resolution in support of the resolution. Jim Hunter, thank you for being here. And as you know, we have a 3-minute limit, and thank you.
Yes. Good morning,
Good
Commissioner
morning.
Brown, Commissioner Boyce.
Morning.
My name is Jim Hunter. I represent the Bread Organization, and I'd like to speak regarding my housing situation. In late November 2017, I received a notice that my monthly rent for 2018 was being raised from $494 to $725. The next week, I was able to go to the rental office of my apartment complex to inquire about the exorbitant rate increase. I was informed that my income was too high. A specific figure was presented as the income limit. A week later, in checking with the human resources manager at work, I found that my year-to-date income was less than $50 below that specific figure. I was given a leave of absence for the remainder of December 2017. I presented the documentation of my income to my apartment complex and thought the problem was over. In early March of 2018, I was shocked to receive an eviction notice. I mistakenly feared that I was being accused of non-payment of my rent for March. Instead, in confronting the business manager of the apartment complex, I was accused of withholding the last 2 weeks of income for December 2017. In response, I presented a copy of my W-2 form for 2017. I was then told that the rent increase was not based on my annual income for 2017, but my annual income for 2016, which had exceeded the income limit. In April 2018, the new manager of the apartment complex agreed that it would be unfair to evict me or to penalize me for back rent for the first 4 months of 2018. However, the rules of the city would require me to pay $725 a month beginning in May 2018. I paid $725 a month from May 2018 until August 2018, when thankfully I was able to move into a condominium. It must be noted that my mortgage and monthly fees at the condominium are exactly 1/2 of the cost of my former quote-unquote low-rent apartment. Increasing the conveyance fee could lead to millions of additional dollars per year to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We want you to increase the fee by the maximum $2. When will you make a decision on increasing this fee?
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Hunter. We are looking at a comprehensive plan for affordability in housing that should be coming to us in the very near future. Our Economic Development Department is working on that plan as you're here now, and we should be seeing it in the next 6 weeks or so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and it will be comprehensive in nature. Any comments?
Nope.
Okay. And you want to move forward the resolution?
If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage of 170-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 170-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 171-19, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Produce Perks to provide enhanced electronic benefit transfer services for low-income Franklin County residents at participating farmers market in the amount of $18,750.
This resolution would support the work of Produce Perks in making it possible for adults who receive the electronic benefits transfer card to take that card and go to farmers markets and purchase fresh fruits and vegetables using a match. So for every dollar that is spent by an EBT card holder, they receive a $2 match from Produce Perks, which really really extends the purchasing power of persons with limited and restricted income to be able to provide fresh and healthful produce for their families. And it seems as though the unofficial theme of today's general session is partnership and public-private partnership. So this really ticks all of those boxes. It supports farmers. It supports families who are trying to access those fresh and healthful foods. And I would encourage anyone who has the opportunity to go and see the farmers market that's held on the grounds of the Columbus Public Health Department. It's amazing. You see a lot of people who visit that farmers market participate in the Produce Perks program, and so the city has a truck there that provides lunches for the children who are in attendance. Additionally, it's like a world market or a world bazaar. You see people from just really a rich diversity is represented at that farmers market, and I would encourage people to attend so that they can see the program in action, because it really is amazing. Again, dollars being leveraged. The investment that we make with Produce Perks goes a long way for the families who are using their EBT benefit. So if there are no other questions, or if there are no questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
Wonderful program.
It really is,
Really
yes.
is.
Move for adoption of 171-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 171-19 has been adopted.
Thank
Resolution number 172-19. Yeah, one more, Dana.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're not done.
I was thanking you. Thanks, Antoine. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Resolution 172-19, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Ohio Alliance for Arts Education to provide high-quality arts education to at-risk children in various Franklin County school and community locations in the amount of $300,000.
Last but not least,
Thank
the
you.
Ohio Alliance of Arts Education. And this resolution really supports their work in providing arts education through after-school programs, but also they have a phenomenal body of speakers storytellers, artists, who can come out to schools in various community locations and really talk about their craft so children can see those opportunities and see additional career paths. So we know that when school budgets are constrained, that the arts are often the first thing to be eliminated. And this program really enriches the lives of children. I had the opportunity to observe an after-school program on the south side of Columbus, and the children, it was such a privilege for them to be involved with the programming. There was a couple kids who looked like they were getting ready to show out. And then just an eyebrow went up of the program counselor, and they asked them if they wanted to stay here or they wanted to be somewhere else in the building. And those children ran quickly and got back in line and were so well behaved because they appreciated the programming that was being provided, which often aligns with the arts lessons that are being taught in the classroom. So they have 3 specialized programs for children ages 5 to 11, children who are ages 12 to 21, and they have the transit arts program. So through all of their efforts, they will be able to reach 800 students throughout Franklin County with this arts programming that often goes to children who would not otherwise have the opportunity to participate in the creative and performing and other expressive arts. So pending any questions, I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no questions, move for passage of 172-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 172-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
I'm all done now?
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
Thank you.
Human resources.
Resolution number 173-19, resolution authorizing a contract extension with Willis Towers Watson Midwest Incorporated for risk management insurance consulting services in the amount of $78,500.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Today for your consideration, we have a renewal for our contract with Willis Towers Watson for the purpose of obtaining competitive insurance quotes that we need to obtain for the county. Pending questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
We do have a speaker before any other questions. Vicki Diesner, welcome to general session.
Thank you very much.
There's a 3-minute limit.
Correct. Thank you. Honorable Franklin County Commissioners, I'm Vicki Diesner, the Government Affairs Representative for Animal Welfare Institute in Ohio. I was appointed to the Franklin County Dog Shelter Public Advisory Committee February 6, 2018. I tenured my resignation from this Public Advisory Committee January 17, 2019. Knowing that the Public Advisory Committee is discussing the value of continuing as a committee with county administration, I am sharing with commissioners that I resign my appointment to the committee as I believe that the original stated purpose for the committee as being a timely and functional conduit for the public to shelter leadership cannot be achieved. And certainly this Public Advisory Committee was never set up to filter human resource issues from volunteers and staff to leadership. It is my understanding that the Public Advisory Committee was originally formed by the county commissioners to address the concern of the public that approximately 100 dogs had been euthanized due to what was claimed to be a distemper outbreak in August of 2016. The county had refused to allocate funds to test the dogs in the shelter for distemper before issuing the euthanasia orders. But the goal of the Public Advisory Committee was then to bring the public and the Franklin County Dog Shelter back together, working on behalf of the dogs of Franklin County. In the fall of 2018, the county commissioners hired new leadership that committed to having direct contact with all public members. And from what I am hearing from the public, there is more transparency and communication with the public. So the question becomes, is there a need for the Public Advisory Committee? In November of 2018, there was a public hearing, which I missed due to work obligations. But at the follow-up meeting of that Public Advisory Committee to discuss that hearing, members of the committee had drafted recommendations to the shelter leadership regarding operations. While the intent of the recommendations was to help shelter leadership, it became apparent that the source of the recommendations was not coming from the public, but from shelter volunteers who were also members of the Public Advisory Committee. While there is no doubt that some of the recommendations may be valid regarding internal operations at the shelter, as an attorney, I do not believe the Public Advisory Committee, as it was set up, is the appropriate vehicle to raise those concerns. Internal complaints by staff and volunteers should be discussed directly with shelter leadership. The Public Advisory Committee should not be placed in a position of making recommendations that are based on staff and volunteer complaints. Several members of the committee are shelter volunteers, and it is my opinion this is an inherent conflict of interest. I also would like to point out that many of the current members had expired appointments as of January 2019. I oppose the use of the Public Advisory Committee as a vehicle to raise concerns of shelter staff and volunteers, and believe the county commissioners should abolish this committee if that is the only role remaining. Since the public is communicating directly with the new shelter leadership and there is negligible turnout at the public hearings and essentially no email on the public platform of the Public Advisory Committee, it would seem there is no viable role for this committee. But if the county commissioners would choose not to abolish the Public Advisory Committee, I would ask that they step in to give new and appropriate direction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just say, I think that's an interesting testimony today, a lot of which is sort of new information to me. Have you reached out to, before this date, anyone at the Board of Commission or at the county to share your perspective?
I sent an explanation of my resignation on February 14th, 2019 via email, knowing that the discussion about what is the role of the Public Advisory Committee was happening. I did not hear anything back. When I contacted at the end of the month staff of the commissioners regarding were my comments shared, I was told that that hadn't happened yet, so fear that that didn't happen made me decide to come and try to talk to you in person.
I had received the letter and forwarded it on to the appropriate person in our administration, and I know we've talked about it internally, and I think it's a valid question. Do we still need the advisory council? But that's something internally we will work on and figure out, and I appreciate you bringing it forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I must admit, I don't recall your letter, and I'd be interested in seeing it and sort of understand in a little more depth with about your concerns, because I think they raise my eyebrows for sure, and I'm sure that sounds like what you've suggested deserves a review. The one thing I would ask you is for your patience, that I would suggest, without having seen your letter and really understand the depth of what you're referring to, that it's all the more reason you should be on the board or on the advisory committee. And it's that sort of perspective, intellectual insight, and involvement that is healthy, whether it's an exchange of disagreement or agreement. And so I should be thoughtful and patient with us on this. We're still evolving in our understanding and our approach to the conversation and all the complexities in it. And I look forward to our own internal conversation of how we can, continue to think about these issues so that they don't become something that that's something that becomes a real serious issue down the road, if it already isn't.
Commissioner Boyce, I did share that letter with Jessica, and so I don't know why there was a lap in you receiving that letter, but I would hope that you would be able to receive it and read it because there were other issues that were brought up in that letter too.
Yeah, when you were saying that, I was trying to just recall if I had seen it, and I just don't recall. Doesn't mean it wasn't briefed on me at some point, but the point I'm making is that I'm going to put my attention toward it because I think these are the way maybe it wasn't presented in the detail that you just laid out.
It was presented in more detail.
I mean, to me,
I'm
I might have been briefed differently about it, because we get, quite frankly, a lot of those kinds of things, if you will, with regards to the advisory board and the animal shelter, and so it might have been amongst a dozen or so things, and so sometimes it's lost in between the cracks. In my own judgment, my own listening, that doesn't mean, so I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. I'm saying it could be me that just overlooked it, but I'm going to take a closer look at it and hope that there's a broader discussion.
I would certainly offer that if you have any questions or want to, delve deeper into some of the issues that are raised, I would be available for that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is this her stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
We need a motion.
Yeah. If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 173-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 173-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Sue. Purchasing.
Resolution number 174-19. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,268,052.42.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Ballinier, representing the Purchasing Department. The resolution before you requests your approval of 213 purchase orders. Included in this resolution are 44 eligible purchase orders. These are POs in which small and emerging business enterprises are likely to participate. Of these 44 POs, 26 were awarded to SEBEs, which is 59.1% of the eligible PO volume. These 26 POs total $464,000, actually $464,983, which is 72.6% of the eligible PO dollar value. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
Is that good? Okay, if there are no comments or questions, move for passage of 174-19.
Second.
Moved and second in voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 174-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Journalizations.
And I'll read these before the executive session. Case from Economic Development and Planning, case number ANX 0319, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on February 27, 2019. The petition is requesting to annex 4.1 acres from Prairie Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on April 2, 2019. Also from Economic Development and Planning, case number ANX 0419, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on February 27, 2019. The petition is requesting to annex 0.5326 acres from Franklin Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on April 2, 2019.
Thank you. And under Board of Commissioners,
Resolution 175-19, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session to confer with the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office concerning pending or imminent litigation.
Move to convene in an executive session to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action.
second.
Moved and second in voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
We are now in executive session.
All right.
Right.